Hello, hello, Zoe. How are you doing today?
I am good, DesiAnn. I am happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much for taking this opportunity. The whole purpose of this is to highlight virtual assistants, especially those in the Caribbean. And you are a VA. So I decided, let me reach out to you and you can share a bit about you, about your business, how you help your clients, etc. So we will get straight into it. So tell us a bit about Zoe and about your business.
So yeah, first of all, so my name is Zoe, of course. The name of my business is the Spunky VA, right? I am Trini, but I'm currently based in the lovely island of St. Lucia. I've been here since February and I'm loving it.
Beautiful.
A little bit more about myself. I'm a Virgo. I love animals, as you all can see.
Yes.
The reason why I got into being a VA aligned a lot with my personality. You know, I want the freedom, I want the room to experiment, I want to be able to interact with people on a one-on-one. So my personality just kind of matched up with,
Right.
this career. And I've
Yes.
been loving it.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, since you've started the virtual assistant business, can you tell us a bit about what the Spunky VA does?
So I actually made a little shift in what my specialty was. And I'm sure, anybody who's taking on a business of their own would experience that. So when
Yes.
I first started being a VA, I had no clue about this space. I was just like, I'm gonna dive right into it. You were my mentor in the beginning. So you helped me navigate a lot of those waters. So I was a general VA when I initially started. You're like, oh, I know how to do admin stuff. That's simple enough. I could type a
Yes.
document. Um, but as I got into it and kind of explored the kind of work I could participate in, part of it was me working with course creators.
Right.
And that started again to, well, they have a lot of tech that they have to manage. So it's like, oh, could you research how to automate an email, or can you research how to make an editable PDF and those little
Okay.
things. And also, I would have done some tech setup for you and a
Mm-hmm.
few others as well. And I was like, oh, I like this. I would prefer this to be my daily thing than me typing up a document or me going through
Right.
someone's email.
Yes.
So the Spunky VA had evolved or has evolved from just doing general admin work. So now I'm a tech specialist,
Okay.
specifically for course creators, educators, and coaches. So
Okay,
what I would
brilliant.
do is I would assist with the tech when it comes to like their memberships, their clubs, their courses. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been going well. I have a lot of plans.
But that is excellent. That is excellent. And actually, being a tech VA is so in demand right now, because yes, we have coaches with a wealth of knowledge. They have all these expertise that they want to share. But when it comes to the tech pieces, they're like, this is just not me. I don't have the time for this. And fair enough, they have their zone of genius. And when they can connect with somebody like you, a tech VA, it's going to just create magic. So that is excellent. And can you share a bit more in terms of some of the tools you probably have experience with?
So going back to course creation and memberships, they would have specific sites that persons would like to use that are built out specifically for persons who produce that kind of content.
Yes.
So I work with MemberVault and Thinkific.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've also been experimenting with a few others, but those are like my core platforms right now. And then attached to that would be like email marketing platforms that will be like MailerLite,
Mm-hmm.
Aweber, ConvertKit is a long list.
Yes.
And of course, when you get into these things, you need to do a little graphic work. So good old Canva jumps
Mm-hmm.
in. It's
Yes.
almost like a daily tool. Something is just as simple as edit a picture, do a little graphic, try
Yes.
to style or make these things come up to professional standard.
Mm-hmm.
those little touches, adding in graphics, adding in a little custom work really does, make
Right.
things stand out.
Right, right. So going back to something you mentioned earlier, where you shifted from being a general virtual assistant to getting more into tech stuff. What was it like for you with that transition, especially from a marketing perspective? Letting people know, okay, I'm no longer doing these things, but this is it now. How was that?
So a couple of things I will mention that I think people probably want to know in terms of how to navigate. One is the announcement, especially when you have clients that you work with already. So with that, it's kind of like what I prefer to have done, because I usually have regular touch points, is that I would have let them know, hey, something's coming, I'm making some changes.
Yes.
So they're not caught by surprise. So when I did the announcement, I made separate emails from like what would have been my general list versus persons who I would have worked with. And I would have let the persons who are my clients make it a little more personalized and a little more relevant in terms of saying, hey, so this is, I'm going to make this swap at such and such time. I'm announcing I'm changing over to a tech VA.
Right.
And also let them know, don't worry, I'm still going to be here to handle you. And it was like, we'll have a touch point and we'll hash out the details. But the rest of the list is kind of like, hey, these are my new services, check it out.
Right, yes.
Right. So I think that's the kind of difference that you'll have to navigate in terms of like who you're currently working with. Because you don't want to just, catch them by surprise. The second thing is the change of price, because I'm specializing. So I'm not going to be charging general work anymore. It takes a lot, it has as you said, tech VAs are in demand, and not a lot of people get into that space, or at least not right now.
Yes.
So I mean, the increase in what my cost would have been. So it's kind of like I had to sit down, look at my clients. Like I had set my prices. I knew what I wanted to move up to. But I also have to look at, I have my clients who had a lower price point. What does this mean? So what I did is I gave them a grace period. So I announced it in October, and I was saying, hey, we could stay at the same price point for the next 3 months, but come Jan 2023, we're hopping over. Yes. Right? So it's once again giving them that time and let them plan for it. Because once they want to keep me on, they want to make sure they have the funds. And you're allowing that dialogue to happen. And so far, fingers crossed, all of my current clients are saying they have no problem transitioning in Jan.
Yes. Well, that's excellent. That is excellent.
Yeah,
but I'm glad that you mentioned that area of pricing, because sometimes we start off in one spot, but we are not supposed to remain there, right? Especially if you have shifted from doing the general admin stuff to getting more specialized, as you mentioned. And the more specialized you are, the more you are going to charge. That is just the reality, right? Because when you think about it, if you go to a general practitioner, you will pay one fee. But if you go to a specialist, hey,
yeah,
make sure you have those dollars ready to go to a specialist, right? And it's no different, So it's good that you have been able to address that, not just with yourself, but also with your clients, and they are willing to stay on board. And there will be those situations where there will be some fallout. Some clients may decide I cannot continue because of their budget constraints or whatever, which is fine too. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to say, I am comfortable with what I'm doing, the pricing, and everything, the whole package. So I'm happy that you have recognized those changes that you needed to make, and your clients are on board with that. So one of the other things I would like to find out from you, and basically this is our last question here. What could be one bit of advice that you would share with somebody who is aspiring to be a virtual assistant? Or maybe that person is new to the VA industry. What would you like to share with that person?
Don't be afraid to not be perfect. That is something I have to constantly remind myself.
Yes.
Right? Because you want things to be on point. You want things to impress, you want things to wow. And sometimes all that effort, it doesn't get done.
Yes, yes.
it can't help anybody, or it can't do what you want it to do if you don't put it out into the world. Right. And also to not be as critical on myself in parts of being that perfection, it was a lot for me to struggle with, okay, is this good enough? Is my client happy with this? Until I started to get testimonials, or they would tell me, hey, I referred you to my friend. And I was like, oh, they like me that much? I must be doing something right.
Yes.
And so don't be afraid to make a mistake. If it does happen, and it will, take it as a point to learn a lesson. Or sometimes just be like, okay, that was today, we'll do better tomorrow.
Right.
Or this is this scenario, we'll improve on it coming up to the next stage.
Yes.
And I think that would also help with your attitude going forward. Once you're okay with doing it a little scrappy sometimes, you can find it in yourself to keep evolving, because growing as a person is messy, it's scrappy. Anything you do or that you're new at is going to be not perfect. So it's okay to not be perfect. I think that would be my top advice to give anybody else.
It's okay to not be perfect. Yes, I love that. That's very valuable advice there, because even getting into this space, there are so many virtual assistants right now, and there is more of that pressure to feel that I need to do it right the first time. I need to just have it perfect. But as you said, you are learning as you go along. Even the most qualified or the most experienced virtual assistant would have days when he or she would have stumbled in some way. So it is okay. It's all part of the growing process. So I'm happy that you shared that it is okay to not be perfect. So one last thing I'm gonna ask for you to do, and that is share a bit about how people can get in touch with you, a bit about if it's your social media, if you have a website, anything that you wish to share, how people can find you.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass over my information so you can put it down in the description below. So you can Google me, the Spunky VA, and you should be able to see my website pop up. Also, you can find me by my full name, Zoe Andall-Bowen, on Facebook.
Yes.
Those are my two main mediums right now, but we have more to come.
All right, great.
Right, so I'll just make sure that y'all can get my email address somewhere down in the description or in the comments. But
definitely,
definitely there are a lot of plans coming forward in 2023. So I'm hoping that all of y'all will be there to be on that journey with me.
I will definitely be there with you. Exciting times ahead. Well, Zoe, thank you so much for this opportunity, and we look forward to all that is in store for the Spunky VA for 2023, and whatever support Caribbean Virtual Assistants and the successful VA Academy can give to you, we are there. All right?
Of course.
So, yeah. So all the best to you for 2023.
Same to you.